Hi, my name is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and also proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am thrilled to be speaking with the melodic rock star, Kevin WAITE of WASTRUL. For more on Kevin and WASTRUL, you can read more about all of them right below this video, but in the meantime, here's a sneak peek at the amazing talent of Kevin WAITE and WASTRUL. Well, hello, Kevin. How are you?
Very well, Will. And yourself? So glad to be here today.
Kevin, I'm excited to be here, and I'm so excited that the audience just got a little sneak peek of your incredible talent. Kevin, first and foremost, the name WASTRUL, how did that come about?
I was just looking for the most self-deprecating name I could think of. I like to do that when it comes to myself for whatever reason. I take shots at myself before anybody else can. But seriously, it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek, just trying to be humorous off the bat so people don't think I take myself too seriously.
Kevin, I love that. You know, I definitely got that vibe from you. As a director, my #1 North Star is to always set the terms right away. And you do so with the name. So it sets the terms of the vibe, the style, the vibrancy, and also, like you said, the self-deprecating nature.
And maybe the listener sets the bar really low too when they first turn it on. Like, that also could work in my favor.
Kevin, in addition to being a melodic rock star, I think you're also an amazing comedian, but maybe that'll be interview number 2. Listen, Kevin, I want to know, where did your influences for music come from, and what are they?
I think it first started off, I was influenced by Eddie Van Halen. I think my brother's 80s and late 70s rock got into my head, blasting out of his room. So I got into guitar very young. And after that, I started to get into singer-songwriters and then eventually like Smashing Pumpkins. It really is a very eclectic mix, all the way from Rufus Wainwright, I would say, more recently, to Mastodon. So I guess you could say it's like the very singer-songwriter, Baroque kind of orchestral kind of stuff, and then all the way to the heavier stuff as well.
Well, I love that in this cross-genre influence you have, that you've been able to fuse it through the vessel that is WASTRUL. I mean, you know, even we were talking pre-interview about the fact that, you know, there isn't a music video to share, but I almost preferred it because as a listener, there was something within the soundscape of what people just heard a snippet of, which was a tribute to the end of something, that I was able to, as the listener, create my own visceral visual music video, because there's something so beautifully, how do I say it? There's an emotional, visceral thing that happens when I'm listening to your stuff, and I'm sure you've heard that from others.
I think so. And I think maybe in the earlier days when I was a little bit more hard on my sleeve and really more of a confessional songwriter, I think that maybe it made people uncomfortable that they felt stuck emotions that strongly. So I think more recently I've tried to write still from what I know, but from a more general place that maybe people can assign different meanings to, so it can be, you know, something different for everyone.
That's amazing. I mean, now more than ever, right? I mean, in a sometimes divided world, to have the universality of music, but also your music is needed.
I agree. I turn to music all the time, every day. I don't listen to my music very much after I make it, but I think, you know, hopefully with the new record coming out, well, I don't think it's actually going to be a physical record anyway. It'll probably just be on iTunes and stuff like that. Something new, something different, and something, like you were saying before, all of the songs kind of sound different. And I thought at one point maybe that was kind of like a drawback, or that was something that wasn't working in my favor because I didn't have a sound. But that's how it comes out. So that's the way that I put it out.
I love it. Well, look, this has been a tough time for all humans, but especially artists these past 18 months. curious to know what it's been for you as as both a human and an artist, and also in terms of your artistry, were you able to even somehow, I don't know, dig in even a little bit deeper about why you do what you do and what you're going to continue to do and put out there?
I think so. I think it's all that stuff that kind of works on you when you're sleeping at night and then you wake up in the morning, at least as a musician or as a writer. And in the middle of I guess 2020, when the pandemic had first started, that's where the creative juices started to flow again. And I would go down into the basement. I took out the iPad and started looking at some older things that I had written, and they had kind of created some ideas for some newer songs. So I think that was the catalyst for getting back into it. And there's so much to write about now. I mean, in the world, and personally as well. I mean, I just had with my wife, I had a son. He's 5 months old now. So there's a million things in the world going
Kevin,
on. Yeah. So yeah.
congratulations. I want to
Thank you.
piggyback off of that because, there are some artists that I've spoken with who have on twofold looked back to look forward, looking back at some of their older songs that may not have had so much of a reason to get up and out to the world, but it's kind of been activated due to this time. And also speaking with artists like yourself, who during this time had a kid, and in reconnecting with the inner child within us ourselves as artists, but for you to look at a baby version of you, that must also play into maybe a reactivation of emotions that maybe were put away for a bit, but that now are louder and wanting to get up and out, if that makes any sense.
100%. Yeah, looking into his eyes every morning and every night as he goes to bed, it certainly puts everything in perspective. And it certainly has been a motivating factor in terms of, carpe diem, do what I can do now, because he's the little me. I'm me now. I've lived as long as I have. What do I have left to give, and what do I want to give to the world in terms of music and in terms of just being a good person.
Well, you're mentioning something that's been coming up with a lot of artists and also just, regular folk that aren't in the biz of show, this whole notion of legacy and, what we're going to leave behind. I mean, obviously this whole time we didn't plan this, but it really allows you to think about, the finite time we have. I'm curious to know, with all of this said, what you're most looking forward to putting out in the world artistically in the months to come.
Well, definitely the next album, which is going to be called I Even Think I Should Be. I think it's about 10 songs that we've been working on for about a year now. I've been recording basically in my closet and sending the tracks to Boston and having a drummer record in the studio and fusing everything together. So that's what's going to come out, I would say, before the end of the year. And after that, I think it's going to be something really different than what I've done before. Like I said, Rufus Wainwright is one of my major influences over the past 10 years, I'd say. So maybe something along the lines of that, maybe something more piano based rather than guitars, something that I can explore a different side of myself and a different side of the writing.
It's incredible. Well, listen, Kevin, I could speak with you forever, but I want to let our viewers know, for more on the incredible Kevin Waite of the melodic rock everything. You're a Renaissance man, WASTRUL. Please read more about him right below this video. Kevin, God bless you, and really thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Will. It was an honor for me to be here. You be well.
You too.